We are ready to go here from sort of Rudy's Barbecue on South Loop and Slide. We've got head coach Tim Tadlock. We've got a lot of things coming your way. Check out Rudy's. They are terrific with the ribs, brisket, sausage, all of their out-of-the-park sauces, and great atmosphere, the picnic tables, the bread, the pickles, the onions, all those things that make the barbecue experience great. It's all about Rudy's Barbecue. We appreciate them sponsoring this show. Getting a little deeper into the season, we are into the month of April, and the Red Raiders are 20-6 on the season, 3-3 in conference play after a tough weekend in the Little Apple, Manhattan, Kansas, as K-State won that series 2-1. The Red Raiders are 16-1 at home and coming back to home starting this Friday against TCU. The Horned Frogs are undefeated in conference play, and a huge matchup coming with them here very shortly. But glad to be joined by the head coach, Tim Tadlock. Coach, you have any Easter time at all with the family? I know it's a busy time for your kids, your wife, you. A lot of things going on, but did you get any Easter type
You bet.
festivities?
You bet. We had lunch together and got to see everybody. And Chloe came over for lunch, and of course Ben was already there, and I got to see everybody through the day. And yeah, we had a good day.
Good. Got back fairly late-ish Saturday because of the Thursday, Friday, Saturday to get to the be able to observe the Easter holiday. And boy, Coach, up there in Kansas, I'm telling you, we always say it's not ever going to be easy, and we got a little, I guess, deceived. And I know I did. I'm guilty of this as anybody. But 17-1 on Thursday, about as much fun as you can have out at the yard. Birdsell comes out and does his thing. Micah Dallas does his thing. Your guys hit bomb after bomb after bomb. And then 7-2, 10-4 for the other side. That's a wild weekend, Coach.
Baseball do that to you. It's one of those games where you got to show up each day and earn the right to win. And it's never easier on the road. Manhattan's always been an interesting place. Ballpark was playing small. For both teams. And again, but really you have to commend Kansas State for the way they came back in the series. Seymour threw the ball awful well on day two. The guy out of the bullpen might even thrown better.
Yeah, Eckberg.
And then McCullough on day three threw the ball awful good. And tip your hat to those guys. Their offense did a great job coming out and getting on the board early against us. And again, you're going to see good arms every week in this league. It might not. People might not understand this, but their first two guys, between Wicks and Seymour, those are two guys that got a chance to pitch for a long time. Two premium arms, and we were awful proud of the rally we did put together against Wicks and how we played the first night. And but again, I think it's got to give Seymour credit. He went out and really established the fastball, and on a windy day, that's what you needed to do that day. And give him credit.
Yeah, and they did. They earned it, and they played hard, and they responded. Because I have to feel like you have your baseball manhood challenged pretty good if you lose 17-1. And again, and I don't know if like I don't know how this translates to you guys, but I'm sitting there again after calling 6 or 7 home runs, whatever it was, saying adios muchacho all day long, and we're driving back to the hotel, and I'm like, these guys don't have any chance. We got Monteverde tomorrow. What are they thinking? So I think I got a little fat and happy on the deal. I apologize.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to. But
Yeah.
does that translate at all into the dugout?
Oh, I think there's some psychology behind everything you're talking about. I think the coolest part of the psychology would be like, maybe possibly a football team being down a couple touchdowns or maybe 3 touchdowns. You can think back all the times when Patrick, had to score and teams get in rally mode, and there's really no consequence for failing. And I think there's an interesting piece of sports psychology that their whole team was possibly in that spot.
Mm-hmm.
They had lost 4 or 5 games in a row after game one. And I think really at that point, each guy pretty much in his own mind, you're in a rally mode. And you always feed off starting pitching. And Seymour went out and established
Yeah.
the fastball early. And again, that's a guy that if he does that, he can get big league hitters out. And so for sure he's going to get college hitters out if he does that. It's heavy sink. I don't know if it's as much sink as say Mosley back when we had him, but I think it's comparable. And to hit a guy like that, you got to be pretty specific about what you're trying to do and getting inside the baseball. And I'm not sure we did that. And again, the psychology of that from 17-1 to the next day, and maybe getting away with swinging and trying to pull the ball, with the wind blowing, and maybe getting away from your approach and facing their down the order bullpen arms from the 5th inning on.
Yeah, right. Good
Yeah,
point.
absolutely. I mean, we're not dealing with professional hitters, and I think there was definitely a little false sense of what was going on from the 6th inning on Thursday. A false sense of what again. How do
Yeah.
you really have success against a lead arm? Baker drives the ball out of the ballpark against Wicks to right center field.
Yeah.
And if you'd have listened to Baker after his first at bat, I mean, he was immediately making adjustments for the second at bat. Like he came back to the dugout and he's like, "Oh man," he goes, and he was basically talking about how he was going to adjust. And the elite guys at this level adjust pitch to pitch, and he was able to do that from one at bat to the next, which was really cool to see. And the rest of the lineup followed. And but I'm always intrigued by what goes on between the ears in any sport.
Yeah.
We've all been down 40 love in a casual game of tennis, and you go, and all of a sudden it's deuce.
Yeah.
And
And then I lose.
hey man, and it's deuce, and and
Yeah.
there's a piece of that's really interesting.
Now they got back and they rallied and again took the last two at Taunton Stadium. Last time that happened was their championship team in 2013, where they beat you in a series. And this team's got some pieces. And you mentioned those arms, and yeah, that is one thing I'm glad you brought up about that false sense of maybe this is really easy. Because once they get down so much, they're not going to burn anybody because they want to save as many as they can for the next couple of days, and that's what they did. But you're seeing those guys, you're like, oh man, it's gonna be this way all weekend. So I noticed you guys stayed down in the first base dugout quite a while there after the game on Saturday. Can you share with us any of kind of your message to them?
Oh, probably the most simple thing is the want to win's a lot different from the effort to win. And the effort to win's it's each day, and sometimes you get away from that in a baseball game. And the better the teams you play, the more that's revealed. And our league will reveal that. And in a nutshell, that's what it amounts to. I mean, there's always been to me. There's a separation between wanting to win and making the effort to win. And within a baseball game, you really don't control the winning part. What you control is the pitch to pitch, and doing your best at that moment within that pitch, and whether that's offense, defense, and again, teams get to that spot because things happen. And baseball seasons don't normally go like Gonzaga, for instance. You normally don't go 31-0.
It's very true.
And you usually have days where you run into starting pitching that'll give you a hard time. We've had that this year, and we've managed through it, and we've pitched well, and we've played good defense, and just so happened Kansas State swung the bat really well on, I won't keep wanting to say Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
But it was Friday and Saturday. I mean, they jumped out and hit, I don't know, a couple home runs, it seemed like, in the first inning, both days.
Yeah.
If not one the first day and two the second day. And
Yeah.
I think we took one away
You
the
did.
second day.
Yeah.
So they would have hit three. And so, again, for a roster to recognize that is there's a lot of value if our roster can recognize that. And we understand there's not a lot of margin for error there in a baseball game. I mean, unless you're running out Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter, there's just not a lot of margin for error. I mean, with those two guys right now, their team has a lot of margin for error because
Sure.
they're not going to give up runs.
Sure.
They're just not going to give up a lot of runs. So each day we got to go out and win innings.
So if you could boil it down to what was missing from Monteverde and Montgomery, could you, as far as their starts, and then we'll start to look ahead.
To me, it always was starting pitching. It always goes to fastball command. To me, starting pitching, I could have not been at the games and told you that. I mean, if a guy's in our starting rotation, he can command the fastball. He's going to be able to pitch out of a jam.
Birdsell
No matter what the secondary stuff is that day, if you can locate a fastball, you can get any hitter in the planet out. That's just the truth. I mean, they only succeed. The best in the world succeed 30% of the time.
Yeah.
The guys are in the Hall of Fame. So, I mean, I think, there's a lot of guys would tell you if they can locate a fastball there, I'm out. And, and so it always going to go back to that for us.
Yeah. Okay, when we come back, I got some questions about food today.
Food?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked before the show off the air about Rudy's and just getting some barbecue. So I got some food questions for you because I know everybody likes Tim Tadlock food takes. I'm going to ask you about Drew Baker, and eventually we'll get to TCU. We'll get to some favorite ballparks that you've coached in or played in that's not Rip Griffin Park and all that and more. Coming up here, this is Red Raider Baseball with head coach Tim Tadlock on the Texas Tech Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
At Texas Tech, innovation is at our core. Grit and determination drive our ambition. Art and culture spur our creativity. We're a community that makes Texas and the world a better place. We're a university where our accomplishments are many, our achievements are global, and our victories are glorious. Texas Tech University. From here, it's possible.
And we are back on Red Raider Baseball with head coach Tim Tadlock, talking about the weekend, talking about Easter, and talking about some questions from the peanut gallery. All right? Jim wants to know, what's the card on the wrist of the catchers for?
That card has columns of numbers on it. So it'll have fastball middle, fastball away, fastball in. It'll have a breaking ball. It'll have changeup. It'll have picks. It has pitch outs, has picks. Basically, what everybody's gone to is a number system. So it's a number system. Instead of going the old-fashioned way where you're just calling pitches with touches and things of that nature. So we relay the pitches. Matt relays the pitches to Braxton or Nate or Cole. And then they use the traditional way to call pitches from there.
Did it surprise you that South Florida's pitchers all wore them? Because I thought it kind of made them look like infielders a little bit.
I literally saw something walking in here. I think Cal retweeted something. He saw a Miami pitcher using it. Of course, Cal was at Miami. And I don't know if this was what it was about, but it said, "Stop this," or something like that.
Oh.
I actually had a game on yesterday, and they were looking down at the wrist. The catcher and the pitcher were basically relayed the pitch in, and so I'm not a big fan. Not a big fan to relay it into both of them.
Yeah, it didn't look right to me.
No, I agree. Seems like it slows it down.
Slows it down, made it, I don't know, just didn't look like,
Yeah, in a perfect world, your catcher can call the pitches and keeps the flow of the game just right.
What do you got to do to earn that? To earn that right?
Well, I would say you got to be able to really pitch. I mean, you got to be able to really command the fastball. And if you had, for instance, the Leiter kid right now that gave up one hit in his last 20 innings, pretty sure he could call his pitches.
Pretty sure he can.
Pretty sure. we're trying to figure out how to get one of those guys to
But
school.
do you ever let just the catcher call the game? That's kind of what I was asking. Like the catcher has gotten
Yeah.
to a point
Yeah.
where you trust him enough to
Oh,
call the game.
we would trust Braxton enough to call the game, but you have to know again, the better your arms, the better you can trust your catcher to call the game.
Okay, okay.
The better they can locate the pitch.
That's interesting.
The
Yeah.
more reliable your catcher can be.
I was always kind of thinking, being an old catcher, that that's all on his plate. That's and that makes total sense. You get well, it's like everything. I mean, with your Jimmys and Joes, if you got Jordan out there, you probably don't have to get in his way too much.
Yeah, no. I was listening to a game yesterday afternoon, and Ben McDonald was talking about when he's with the Orioles. He was mentioning that after a little while, Cal Ripken came up to him and goes, "Hey, between you and your rookie catcher, you guys have no clue what you're doing as far as calling a game." And he basically said we always heard this. Cal Ripken basically would call pitches from shortstop.
Really?
For him. Yeah.
Wow.
Relay them to the catcher.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jerry wants to know, do you call it a breakfast burrito or a breakfast taco? And what's the difference?
I go breakfast taco. A lot of times where I get them, they call them breakfast burritos, and I call it a breakfast taco.
Where do you get them?
Well, I mean, let's just say Rudy's right now.
Well, okay, so
Since
you went
we're
into
on the
Rudy's.
Rudy's show.
They're identified as breakfast tacos there.
They are.
So I like
They
to say
absolutely.
breakfast tacos. And I learned another lesson. Okay, it's been a while since I've been on the road. This was stupid. We went to that bakery, Ravina's. Yeah. Well, on Saturday I noticed what kind of they had a big crowd, and I was like, okay, this is a good place to go. And I wanted to get a sandwich, but I was 9 minutes before lunch. So I said, what should I get? She said, get the sausage breakfast burrito. I was like, okay. It was awful. Don't get things in Manhattan, Kansas, where you're from as a specialty.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
I don't think I need to be eating Mexican food
Well, that's what I was about to say.
in Manhattan. But it even goes to like
Maybe
sausage.
not even barbecue.
Definitely not barbecue. I think.
Yeah, between those two things, you need to stay away from it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
that's,
but I relearned it. I was like,
Joseph actually wanted to have barbecue up there when we talked about it. I was like, can't do it.
can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
It's
going to
been
be
a
close.
summer in Hayes, America.
You did?
Yeah, and there's no
What for?
Mexican food and playing
Yeah.
back a long time ago. And no Mexican food and sure not barbecue.
What was that like?
It was fun. It was a good summer.
Good
The
experience.
guy
What were you like,
the guy,
20?
our manager is a high school coach at Hayes. He is still managing the same team.
So how many years ago was that?
That was in probably, let me think about this, 88.
88.
That was a while ago.
It's a while ago.
Yeah.
Man, that's great. Hayes, Kansas.
Hayes, America.
Fort Hays State basketball beat K-State this year
There you go.
in Manhattan. Favorite country song or band?
Oh,
You
wow.
can give me both.
Favorite country song. Phone's ringing. Who's calling me?
Popular man.
Yeah, I don't know that it's a country song. I've always liked the song "Lean on Me."
Okay.
I don't know if that's country or not, but it's a song that I've always had an appreciation for. I'm a big I like George Strait, obviously. There was a time George Jones was really near and dear to me. I like Luke Combs now.
Uh-huh.
I like all those new guys. Pat Green, obviously,
Oh,
Josh
yeah.
Abbott, all those guys. Got to throw Josh in there, right?
You have to. I
Yeah,
think that's
all those guys do.
that's in the contract.
All of them do a really good job.
Yeah, it's fun to listen to those guys, kind of the red dirt, Texas country. That's down my line. That's what I love. Favorite yard you've played or coached in that's not Rip Griffin?
Oh, let's see. I like all of them in the state of Texas. I mean, there's not one that we go to that doesn't feel like home because we've been in them quite a bit. And so just walking in a baseball park when you can smell the grass in the state of Texas is always nice. Um, the old Arlington Stadium
I love that
was
place.
really cool.
I love that place.
I mean, it's
like we're talking like
yeah, and you probably got to define too. We're
that would
talking
be
pro parks, we're talking college parks, we're talking high school parks.
any of those you like.
Yeah, I like again. Man, there's just nothing like in the state of Texas just getting in the truck going to games, and usually it's 3 or 4 within a day, or maybe even 5 or 6, and getting to walk in ballparks. And
Do you ever get in that Bartlesville ballpark in Oklahoma, up in northeastern Oklahoma?
Yeah, sure have.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. Yeah.
Sure have.
It's
They
an old
played
school.
the Division III junior college deal there.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And the Enid one's fun too.
Been there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both really cool.
Old school kind of feel to
Yeah,
them.
for sure.
Yeah. David Allen Memorial Ballpark. All right, those were some questions from at Guns Up Radio. Now we'll get into some more Tech baseball. How's Drew Baker doing? Because I guess it was late in the game Thursday. He goes through the bag and comes up a little gimpy, and then tries it at times. From our position, it didn't look like it's a super serious thing, but it also looks like it's bothering him. So how's Drew doing?
Yeah, I saw him literally right before we came over, and it's going to be day to day. I mean, so we'll see.
Is he dealing
how
with
the week goes.
Is it a leg?
Muscle strain.
Oh, a muscle strain. Okay. Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that plays out, because obviously, I mean, he's back-to-back Big 12 Player of the Week, and then he's not in your lineup. That's something that
We probably wouldn't have taken him out.
probably wouldn't have taken him
No.
out. He's one of those
Probably
guys that's
been
made the
tough.
decision for you. Well, what's missing over at first base? Because you look like you're trying a lot of things over at first.
Well, the cool thing is we've played enough games now, I think, where there's a good sample, and we've tried to leave guys in there and give them ample opportunity to kind of get going. Nate's the best defender, right now. He's the biggest target. He's the best thrower. Woodcox is still trying to learn the position. I do think we were rewarded by playing him for a weekend. I think he hit 2 home runs in a weekend and put together about 10 quality at-bats in a weekend, helped us beat South Florida 3 times.
Sure.
And made them pitch around him at times, or at least spin the ball to him. And Stillwell's a guy, with the track record of hitting good pitching. And we just need to get, one of those guys going, and looking forward to doing that. And, really, again, it's when 2 of the 3 are guys that we were thinking about catching at one time, and Braxton caught at such a high level. We're looking at it right now as, hey, do you give Braxton a day off every now and then, and maybe stick Cole back there, and Nate, one of those guys. And if you want to break it down analytically, and you go quality at bats, and you go hard contact, and you go swing and miss, and you go RBIs, and you go hitting with men in scoring position, and you go hitting with 2 outs, and you go on base percentage. If you want to break it all down that way, we can, but I don't think we need to on the radio. And what we're hunting is good at bats and being tough, and being able to set it up for their guys, behind you, and to be able to drive some runs in. And all those guys have had opportunities to drive runs in. And again, it's all of them have the ability. It's just kind of getting them in a spot where they can do it.
It's a gigantic puzzle you're trying to figure out. You're trying to put
those
pieces in.
Yeah, literally, just talking about it. So we played Kurt over there on day 3, and out of those 3 guys, probably the only one that really knew Kurt has played some first base is Stillwell. And so he's probably the one that kind of was going, okay, yeah, Kurt's swinging the bat good, and want to play Parker, and everybody knows Parker's a really good defender, and and so that's not what we want to do long term, but we thought that's what our best lineup was on Saturday. And again, analytically, you can break it down a bunch of ways with about 70 at-bats, and then you add in about 100 at-bats from the fall, and what you had there and what you had before our season started this year. And we really need one of those guys to settle in there and hit 5th or 6th.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, you're not really looking for a guy to play first base to hit ninth, and so really it's it's one of those things we just got to figure it out.
Is Rombach getting everything like this? Is he seeing almost exclusively breaking pitches?
Oh, I do think he's a guy that, as he evolves, I think he's a guy that's going to need to learn to sit on spin some
Uh-huh.
and to hit it. But no, I don't think he's getting that exclusively.
Okay. I don't know. It just seems like when he goes
No.
up there, he's seeing a lot of breaking balls. But yeah, I'm sure you'll get it figured out. I'm sure somebody will step to the forefront. I thought Braden Runyon in situations that you put him in, except for the ball in right field. I just remember that. That kind of popped out of his mitt. But I thought he answered the call a few times. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, it's a tough day to play outfield too. I mean, not that a pop-up's ever that hard to catch, but I think it happened to the White Sox center fielder the same day.
Yeah.
Literally caught a ball off the top of his head, and it bounced off about 60 feet from him. And so those types of things happen. And, Runyon's a kid, that he can definitely swing the bat. Ball comes off his bat a little bit different. Got a little bit different sound to it. And, his future's, it's definitely something that we're looking forward to.
Well, and we'll leave this segment with, talking about getting guys in there and finally it's a click or it's a fit. I mean, I always go to Zach Reams. Zach wasn't playing a ton until that Baylor series. He hits one out there in the Brazos and ends up with, I think, 17 bombs. So, I mean, it can happen. It can click like that, and then they make that decision for you, like you said, to
absolutely
be a part of the lineup. All right, we're coming back with talk about the Big 12 overall in the conference and looking at TCU. This is Red Raider Baseball with head coach Tim Tadlock on the Texas Tech Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
This season, Texas Tech is switching to all mobile ticketing. That's right. Season tickets, mini plans, and single game tickets for all Texas Tech football, men's basketball, women's basketball, and baseball events are now mobile. So, what does this mean for you? Convenience. Because your tickets will be stored on your mobile device, you no longer need to worry about receiving or printing physical copies of your tickets. This new process eliminates the need to coordinate meeting times for ticket distribution by allowing you the flexibility of easily transferring your tickets from your mobile device to the personal device of friends or family. So arriving to the game at different times is no longer a problem. Eliminating the costs of printing physical tickets allows us to put more resources into enhancing both the student-athlete and fan experience. Prior to arriving to the stadium on game day, be sure to check your Apple Passbook or Google Pay and confirm tickets have been added. On game days, all you'll need is your phone, your physical parking pass, and of course that Raider Power Spirit. If you have any questions, feel free to contact support in the Texas Tech ticket office at 806-742-TECH or visit texastech.com.
And we are back on Red Raider Baseball with head coach Tim Tadlock. I want to encourage you tonight to get on by Rudy's. Rudy's Barbecue, South Loop, and Slide. They've got all the brisket. You can make sandwiches with the bread. Just order yourself a chopped beef sandwich. They've got sausage, again, the jalapenos, the pickles, the breakfast tacos in the morning. You've got one that stands out. Green chili.
Green chili stew.
Green chili stew.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. What do you like about it?
Everything. Yeah.
I ask you some questions. I ask you some questions just to see if I can get that you're an idiot reaction.
Nah.
All right, self-deprecation, something that I'm a professor of self-deprecation, so you can make fun of me all you want. That's fine. Just give me that look like you're an idiot. I've gotten it before. Go by Rudy's, take it home, take the family in, sit at the picnic tables. You're going to have a good time. Rudy's, South Loop, and Slide. All right, Coach, Big 12 standings look this way. We'll just go through them. TCU coming up, they are 6-0. Texas is 7-2. Oklahoma State took 2 of 3 from West Virginia. They're 6-3. Then you get to the teams that haven't played as much as those teams. Tech is 3-3. West Virginia 3-3. K-State 2-4. And then Baylor, Kansas, and Oklahoma are all 1-5. Anything stand out about those standings to you here as we just get launched?
Well, top to bottom, 1 through 9, it's as good a league as anywhere in the country. On any given day, you got to play good baseball to win that day. We've all got good pitching. Everybody has good lineups. Um, and so there's just it's a really strong baseball league. Um, I think you could make an argument that our ninth place team, I don't even know who you said it was, but if you went and played them today, hey, you better show up and you better earn the right to win and better play good baseball or you're not going to win.
Well, I think I would feel that way about it, at least two of the three that are tied. And then I've seen losses to Kansas before, whether it be ORU or Texas Tech. But yeah, Baylor, Kansas, and Oklahoma are 1 and 5. The Sooners just got swept by TCU, the upcoming team. The overall records are really good as well. TCU 20 and 7. They've won 9 straight coming in here to Lubbock on Friday. And again, we'll talk about them in a little bit. Texas is 20 and 8. They lost one of their, I think, outfielders to injury, maybe infielders. Can't remember who it was, but they haven't skipped a beat, is what I'm saying. They've just kept winning. Oklahoma State is 18-7 and 1. Then the Red Raiders at 20 and 6. And then, even down there with Baylor, who's still at the top of the league when it comes to batting average overall, they are 18 and 10. So it is a stacked league. When we come back, we're going to focus all about the TCU Horned Frogs. Again, we'll break them down and look forward to what's coming up this weekend at Rip Griffin Park. Again, those times are 6:30 on Friday, 2 on Saturday, and noon on Sunday. Get out there. I saw Micah Dallas tweet about, hey, we're in kind of the grease right now, but we got some home games coming up, and we need the best fans in the country to come on out. So get your plans ready to get out there and support the Red Raiders. More with Coach Tadlock when we come back on the Texas Tech Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
At Texas Tech, innovation is at our core. Grit and determination drive our ambition. Art and culture spur our creativity. We're a community that makes Texas and the world a better place. We're a university where our accomplishments are many, our achievements are global, and our victories are glorious. Texas Tech University. From here, it's possible.
And we're back on Red Raider Baseball with head coach Tim Tadlock. Glad to be joined by the HC. I got to know, we've been talking about food here with Rudy's, green chili stew. I got to know before we talk about TCU, you said Easter lunch. What was on the menu? Because mine was, I'll just tell you, it was not very good Chinese food from Lubbock, a local establishment. I went and spent $50 on Chinese food. That always feels good. So what'd you
went
have?
the same route we went. We went and picked it up. Did we all just get used to doing that? Maybe.
Yes.
We had fajitas.
Fajitas?
We had fajitas, and
Easter fajitas.
They were really good.
It was a beautiful day yesterday. I had my neighbors out playing cornhole. You ever play cornhole where you toss the beanbag?
Yeah, we've got a cornhole deal on the back. We sure do have one.
You any good at it?
No, not really.
Me either.
Even though Ben and I were in Georgia last summer. He was playing, I want to know it was Alabama. And we had to go eat somewhere, and a couple people waiting in line. We were outside, and we took them.
Took them down?
Yeah, we did.
Son?
We did. They thought they had us, but no shot.
I'll tell you this, too. This is just out of left field. I have a nearly 13-year-old daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She, kind of wants to cheer.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, she picked up a baseball bat, and I threw her batting practice by the side of the house. And I was like, it's kind of been hard to bond with the coming up on teenager. I was like, hey, look at this. We're bonding over wiffle balls and bats. That was a pretty cool dad moment.
Yeah, absolutely. You sound like you need to get you a bunch of wiffle balls.
We're stocking up.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we're stocking up on the wiffle.
Probably has a few over there for you.
Shash came through with a couple hats for me.
Yeah, you need to run by there and get some wiffle balls.
Okay, I can do that. TCU 20 and 7. They are 10 and 2 at home, 7 and 2 away from home and 6-0 in the Big 12. They have, let's see, a starter that is 5-1 and Russell Smith. Austin Krob is 4-0. Halen Green, we remember that name. He's got 13 appearances and an ERA of 2.08. So what are you seeing out of this year's Horned Frogs?
Oh wow, you just mentioned Halen, super senior. You know, I just last year when this whole deal hit, I know Schlossernagel was that's their head coach. He was very concerned about the roster numbers. I want to say he's got 12 guys in the same boat that we have, like Connor Queen in, a guy that, you know, is using extra year of eligibility.
12?
12. So they've got an older roster. Russell Smith has been pitching day one for them due to COVID. The Ray kid was pitching day one, and I think he had a setback because of that, and he's still on day three now. And then the kid in the middle, the Krob kid, there was people, you know, really high on him when they went in and saw him in the fall. Was throwing the ball really well, and everything that, you know, he's done so far this spring, I think, would be a reflection of that. And so 2 left-handed starters, and then Ray going on Sunday. Their lineup, I think, has an opportunity to be older if they want it to be. They do start a true freshman in center, the Nunez kid from Arlington Martin, and you know, Humphreys is hitting in the middle of the order. You know, Tech people will be familiar with that name and having a great year. Heard he swung the bat really well last weekend, and you know, there's a guy that's in his 5th year of college, and everything's really slowed down for him, and as it should. And so, you know, you go into Norman and you win 3 games.
Yeah,
obviously, you're playing really good baseball, and you know, they're pitching really well. When you look at you know, Kirk Sarloos, their pitching guy, you look at Bill Mosiello, those 2 guys are as good as there are in the business at what they do. One runs their offense, one runs their pitching staff, and then Schlossernagel's is, you know, as good as in the business as what he does, which is run the whole thing. And you know, you got to go out and play good baseball to beat them. And it seems like Sarloos always has those pitchers in a good spot, and does a good job with them, and you know, has something for them to get ahead in the count with, and has them a good plan. And that's a reflection of what he was as a pitcher. You know, he's a guy that didn't throw real hard, but he pitched in the big leagues, and so again, we know we're gonna have to, you know, fine tune some things and go play the game the right way.
Yeah, and just something to watch out for on these pitchers that makes them even more dangerous. Green, the opposition batting average is 193. Smith, 200. Krob, 174. And on down the list of guys that are getting outs for TCU, of course.
Yeah, you probably mentioned King in there. I think it's his 6th year of college.
He's still there?
Yeah, and like he finished the game yesterday, I want to say, and you're like, holy cow, they've started him this year. They brought him out of the bullpen.
Coach, he was there, I think.
He's definitely on the Baker plan, definitely.
I think he was there. I'm almost certain he started against ORU in that regional.
Oh, my gosh, he's been there a long time.
In 2016, because 17 was my first year here. So I think he pitched then.
Yeah.
Good grief.
Yeah, he ought to have a master's.
Heading for a doctorate.
Yeah.
So he's got a 3-1 record. All right, so that's a good breakdown of the Frogs. Has it been different? I want to kind of know the differences on just not regular. You've been out of that routine with midweek games. How's not having steady midweek games affecting this team?
Oh, I think it's good this week. You know, with Baker having the pull muscle, you know, coming off our first true road games, I don't think it's such a bad thing. I think, you know, obviously we're trying to put the whole puzzle together. Looking forward to next week when we do get to play some midweeks. Got Stephen F. coming to town for 2 double midweeks on next Tuesday and Wednesday. And I think we go to Amarillo the next week and play Oklahoma in a midweek game. Looking forward to seeing that ballpark. And
yeah, me too.
There's good to both sides of it. But I think, you know, like coming off the Easter, and then the day being an off day, I think it's falling at the right time
Yeah.
for us.
Chance to recharge. One
Yeah.
more guy I didn't mention that I wanted to was Sanders. I thought he was
Threw the ball awful well.
was sneaky good and threw the ball well.
Yeah, he's got some deception, definitely. It's a different look for right-handed.
Little
hitters.
twist away.
Yep.
Pretty interesting.
Yep.
All right, give your pitch to the students to come on out and be loud. That's the perfect time for it.
Yeah, we'd love for all the students. Obviously, the more the merrier. Our guys feed off that energy. It's going to be a great weekend to watch baseball. Two really highly competitive teams. Should be good baseball, and obviously the Raider power and them yelling up there, definitely the guys feed off that.
That's one of your favorite things, the old Raider Power chant. Get it going Friday, Saturday, and Sunday against TCU. Coach, appreciate the time. As always, enjoyable, and we'll see you at the yard.
You bet. Appreciate it, Hacks.
All right, that's head coach
Great.
Tim Tadlock. And when we come back, we will wrap things up again live from Rudy's, where you need to go by right now and get all the barbecue that you can. Take it home, have it for lunch the next day. And they got the little store right there in front. You can get all your soft drinks and everything that goes with that. Rudy's Barbecue, South Loop and Slide, proud sponsor of Red Raider Baseball with head coach Tim Tadlock. We'll take a break on the Texas Tech Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
This season, Texas Tech is switching to all mobile ticketing. That's right. Season tickets, mini plans, and single game tickets for all Texas Tech football, men's basketball, women's basketball, and baseball events are now mobile. So, what does this mean for you? Convenience. Because your tickets will be stored on your mobile device, you no longer need to worry about receiving or printing physical copies of your tickets. This new process eliminates the need to coordinate meeting times for ticket distribution by allowing you the flexibility of easily transferring your tickets from your mobile device to the personal device of friends or family. So arriving to the game at different times is no longer a problem. Eliminating the costs of printing physical tickets allows us to put more resources into enhancing both the student-athlete and fan experience. Prior to arriving to the stadium on game day, be sure to check your Apple Passbook or Google Pay and confirm tickets have been added. On game days, all you'll need is your phone, your physical parking pass, and of course that Raider Power Spirit. If you have any questions, feel free to contact support in the Texas Tech Ticket Office at 806-742-TECH or visit texastech.com.
And we are back here on Red Raider Baseball with head coach Tim Tadlock. Appreciate him coming on and staying for the entire hour for us. The Red Raiders are 20-6 on the season and 3-3 in conference play, losing 2 in a row to Kansas State. But one thing to remember is to try to step back and take a big picture about Texas Tech baseball. They've won 20 of their last 23, starting off the season 0-3. And then before those 2 losses, they'd won 20 of their last 21. So it's a team that's still hot. I think it's a team that took a couple of shots and is going to bounce back, and they'll have to because of the challenge that's coming in the form of the 12th-ranked TCU Horned Frogs. Could be even a little bit higher today because they're on a 9-game winning streak. So you know that things always get fired up between those 2 squads, and it's always a lot of fun. This time it's going to be at Rip Griffin Park. One of the bonuses about 2020, you didn't have to go there. Now they get to come back here, although we have traded that all in to go and play in Fort Worth at Lupton Stadium, no doubt about it. But those times coming up again, the game times this weekend are 6:30 on Friday, then 2 o'clock on Sunday, and then it's a noon first pitch on April 11th. From Rip Griffin Park. So the Texas Tech Red Raiders at 20-6, taking on the undefeated TCU Horned Frogs in conference play at 6-0. Again, they just came up off a sweep of Oklahoma on the road. So they'll be back on the road this weekend. Really appreciate Tim Tadlock. We had Tim Hayes on site. We have all kinds of people that work into this show and the ESPN Big 12 Now. Thank you so much to all that crew. And Michael Tackett is our man back at the station. Again, I'm Jeff Haxton. Appreciate you listening and viewing our show today. We'll be doing it again next Monday, but make sure to join us on Friday. We'll be on the air at 6 o'clock from Rip Griffin Park as Texas Tech squares off with TCU. Until then, God bless, guns up, and good night.